What if the strength of a god and the heart of a man could collide in one extraordinary being? Meet Hercules, the legendary demigod of Greek mythology, born to Zeus, the king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal queen. His story is one of divine power, tragic loss, and an epic quest for redemption that has captivated audiences for thousands of years. But Hercules' journey was far from easy. Cursed by Hera, the vengeful queen of the gods, he was driven to madness, committing unspeakable acts that would haunt him forever. To atone for his sins, Hercules was tasked with completing 12 seemingly impossible labors, each more dangerous than the last. These labors were not just a punishment, they were a path to redemption, a chance for Hercules to prove his worth and reclaim his honor. From battling the invincible NEMEAN lion to descending into the underworld to face the three-headed guardian Cerberus, Hercules' feats are the stuff of legend. By the end of this video, you'll witness the incredible strength, cunning, and resilience that made Hercules a symbol of heroism and perseverance. So, are you ready to step into the world of gods, monsters, and one man's quest for redemption? Stay with us as we unravel the epic tale of Hercules and his 12 labors, a story that will leave you in awe of the power of the human spirit. Now, let's step back to the very beginning of Hercules' story, where his extraordinary life took its first dramatic turn. Born to Zeus, the king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal queen, Hercules was destined for greatness from the moment he entered the world. His divine heritage granted him immense strength, even as a baby, but it also made him a target for the wrath of Hera, Zeus' wife and queen of the gods. Hera, furious at Zeus' infidelity, saw Hercules as a living reminder of her husband's betrayal. Her jealousy would shape the course of Hercules' life in ways no one could have imagined. As a child, Hercules displayed signs of his godlike power. Stories tell of him strangling 2 serpents sent by Hera to kill him in his cradle, a feat that left those around him in awe. But Hera's anger only grew. She couldn't kill Hercules outright. His divine blood protected him, so she resolved to make his life a living nightmare. Her plan came to fruition when Hercules was a grown man, happily married with children. In a cruel twist of fate, Hera cast a spell of madness upon him, clouding his mind and driving him to commit an unthinkable act. In his altered state, Hercules mistook his own family for enemies and in a fit of rage killed them. When the madness lifted, Hercules was devastated. The weight of his actions crushed him, and he sought a way to atone for his sins. Desperate for guidance, he turned to the oracle of Delphi, who told him that his path to redemption lay in serving King Eurystheus for 12 years and completing whatever tasks the king demanded. These tasks would become the infamous 12 labors, a series of trials designed to test Hercules' strength, courage, and resolve. Though the labors were meant to be impossible, they also offered Hercules a chance to reclaim his honor and prove himself worthy of his divine lineage. This tragic beginning set the stage for one of the most epic journeys in mythology. Hercules' strength was unmatched, but it was his humanity, his capacity for grief, guilt, and the desire to make amends that made him a hero. And so, with the weight of his past heavy on his shoulders, Hercules embarked on a quest that would define his legacy forever. But his trials were only just beginning. Next, we'll explore the first of his 12 labors, where he faced the invincible NEMEAN lion, a beast whose hide was said to be impervious to all weapons. How would Hercules overcome such a foe? Stay with us as we uncover the incredible feats that made Hercules a legend. With his heart heavy from the tragedy he had caused, Hercules knew he needed guidance to find a path toward redemption. He made his way to the sacred oracle of Delphi, a place where mortals sought wisdom from the gods. The oracle, speaking on behalf of Apollo, delivered a prophecy that would change Hercules' life forever. She told him that to cleanse his soul and atone for his sins, he must serve King Eurystheus, his cousin and a man who envied Hercules' strength and fame for 12 long years. During this time, he would have to complete whatever tasks Eurystheus demanded of him, no matter how impossible they seemed. This prophecy was both a punishment and an opportunity. On one hand, it was a harsh sentence, forcing Hercules to submit to a man he despised and endure trials designed to break him. On the other hand, it offered him a chance to reclaim his honor and prove his worth, not just to the gods but to himself. The tasks, which would later be known as the 12 labors, were meant to test every aspect of Hercules, being his strength, his courage, his intelligence, and even his humanity. They were designed to be insurmountable, but Hercules accepted them without hesitation, driven by his desire to make amends for the pain he had caused. The significance of this prophecy cannot be overstated. It marked the beginning of Hercules' transformation from a man burdened by guilt and shame into a hero whose name would echo through the ages. The labors were not just physical challenges, they were symbolic of his inner struggle to overcome his past and rise above his flaws. Each task would force him to confront his own limitations and push beyond them, proving that even a demigod could grow and change. As Hercules set out to fulfill the oracle's decree, he carried with him the weight of his past and the hope of a brighter future. The road ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty, but it was also a path to redemption. And so, with determination in his heart and the gods watching closely, Hercules took his first steps toward the trials that would define his legacy. Next, we'll witness the first of these labors, where Hercules faced the NEMEAN lion, a beast whose invincible hide made it a seemingly unbeatable foe. How would Hercules triumph over such a creature? Stay with us as we uncover the incredible story of his first labor. Now, as Hercules embarked on his first labor, he found himself facing a creature of unparalleled ferocity, the NEMEAN lion. This beast was no ordinary predator. Its golden fur was said to be impervious to weapons, making it nearly invincible. Roaming the hills of Nemea, the lion terrorized the land, leaving destruction in its wake. For Hercules, this was more than just a test of strength. It was a challenge that would demand both his physical prowess and his ingenuity. When Hercules arrived in Nemea, he quickly realized that conventional methods would not work. Arrows bounced harmlessly off the lion's hide, and swords shattered against its impenetrable skin. Undeterred, Hercules decided to rely on his raw strength and cunning. He tracked the lion to its lair, a dark cave filled with the remains of its victims. There, he confronted the beast head-on, engaging it in a brutal hand-to-hand struggle. Using his immense power, Hercules managed to grapple the lion, wrapping his arms around its neck in a vice-like grip. Despite the creature's thrashing and roars, Hercules held firm, eventually strangling the lion to death. But his victory didn't end there. Recognizing the value of the lion's invulnerable hide, Hercules skinned the beast using its own claws, the only thing sharp enough to pierce its fur. He then fashioned the hide into a cloak and wore it as armor, a symbol of his triumph and a reminder of his first labor. This act not only showcased his resourcefulness, but also marked the beginning of his transformation into a hero whose legend would endure for centuries. The defeat of the NEMEAN lion was more than just a physical feat. It was a testament to Hercules' ability to adapt and overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. It set the tone for the labors to come, proving that even the most daunting challenges could be conquered with strength, determination, and a sharp mind. As Hercules moved forward, he carried with him not just the lion's hide, but also the confidence that he could face whatever trials lay ahead. Next, we'll explore his second labor, where he confronted the Lernaean Hydra, a serpent with heads that multiplied with every strike. How would Hercules overcome this seemingly endless foe? Stay with us as we continue his epic journey. With the NEMEAN lion behind him, Hercules now faced a challenge unlike any other, the Lernaean Hydra. This monstrous serpent dwelling in the swamps of Lerna was no ordinary foe. With its multiple heads, each one capable of regrowing 2 more if severed, the Hydra seemed almost impossible to defeat. Its breath was toxic, and its very presence turned the surrounding land into a desolate wasteland. For Hercules, this labor would test not only his strength, but also his ability to think strategically under pressure. As Hercules approached the Hydra's lair, he quickly realized that brute force alone wouldn't be enough. Each time he struck off one of the creature's heads, two more sprouted in its place, making the battle increasingly difficult. To make matters worse, the Hydra had a massive, immortal head that couldn't be destroyed by conventional means. It was a fight that seemed destined to end in failure, until Hercules called upon his nephew, Iolaus, for assistance. Together, they devised a plan to outsmart the beast. While Hercules focused on cutting off the Hydra's heads, Iolaus used a burning torch to cauterize the stumps, preventing new heads from growing. This clever tactic turned the tide of the battle, allowing Hercules to systematically weaken the creature. Finally, with all but the immortal head destroyed, Hercules severed it and buried it deep beneath a massive rock, ensuring it could never return to terrorize the land. To further secure his victory, he dipped his arrows in the Hydra's poisonous blood, a decision that would later play a crucial role in his future labors. The defeat of the Lernaean Hydra was a turning point for Hercules. It demonstrated his ability to adapt, collaborate, and think creatively in the face of overwhelming odds. This labor also highlighted the importance of teamwork, as Iolaus' assistance proved invaluable in overcoming the Hydra's relentless regeneration. With this victory, Hercules not only completed his second labor, but also gained a powerful weapon for the challenges ahead. Next, we'll follow him as he sets out to capture the elusive Cerberus hind, a creature as swift as the wind and sacred to the goddess Artemis. How will Hercules manage to catch such a divine and untouchable beast? Stay with us as we continue his extraordinary journey. Now, as Hercules moved forward in his journey, his third labor brought him face to face with a creature of unparalleled grace and speed, the Cerberus hind. This was no ordinary deer. With golden antlers that shimmered like sunlight and hooves that barely touched the ground, the hind was a sacred animal beloved by the goddess Artemis herself. Capturing it would require more than strength. It would demand patience, precision, and a deep respect for the divine. Hercules knew from the start that this task would be unlike his previous labors. The hind was not a monster to be slain, but a sacred being to be captured unharmed. This meant he couldn't rely on brute force or weapons. Instead, he would need to outwit the creature, using his wits and endurance to track it down. The hind was said to be as swift as the wind, capable of outrunning even the fastest hunters. For an entire year, Hercules pursued it across forests, mountains, and rivers, never giving up despite the immense challenge. The chase was grueling. The hind led Hercules on a winding path through some of the most treacherous terrains in Greece. It leaped across ravines, darted through dense thickets, and vanished into the misty hills, always staying just out of reach. But Hercules was relentless. He studied the creature's movements, learning its habits and patterns. He waited for the right moment, knowing that a single misstep could mean failure. Finally, after months of pursuit, Hercules found his opportunity. Near the banks of the river Ladon, the hind paused to drink. Moving with the stealth of a seasoned hunter, Hercules crept closer, careful not to startle the creature. In one swift motion, he captured it, using a net to gently restrain it without causing harm. The hind struggled briefly, but Hercules held firm, ensuring it remained unharmed. This labor was a testament to Hercules' versatility. It showed that he wasn't just a warrior, but also a skilled hunter and strategist. More importantly, it demonstrated his respect for the divine. By capturing the hind without injuring it, Hercules honored Artemis and proved that he could balance strength with reverence. With the Cerberus hind secured, Hercules prepared to face his next challenge, the monstrous Erymanthian boar. How would he subdue a beast known for its ferocity and destructive power? The answer lies ahead as we continue to follow Hercules' incredible journey through the 12 labors. As Hercules turned his attention to his fourth labor, the stakes grew even higher. His task was to capture the Erymanthian boar, a massive and ferocious creature that terrorized the region of Erymanthus. Unlike the Cyrenian hind, this beast was not sacred. It was a force of destruction, trampling crops, uprooting trees, and leaving chaos in its wake. Hercules knew that subduing the boar alive would require not only strength but also careful planning and strategy. Before setting out, Hercules sought advice from the wise centaur Chiron, a figure renowned for his knowledge and wisdom. Chiron warned him of the boar's immense power and suggested a plan to drive the creature into deep snow where its movements would be slowed. Armed with this insight, Hercules made his way to the rugged mountains of Erymanthus where the boar made its lair. The journey was fraught with unexpected challenges. Along the way, Hercules encountered a group of centaurs who, unlike Chiron, were less friendly. A misunderstanding over a jar of wine led to a violent confrontation. Hercules, ever resourceful, managed to fend off the centaurs, but not without tragedy. In the chaos, one of his arrows accidentally struck Chiron, the very mentor who had helped him. Though immortal, Chiron was in excruciating pain, and the incident weighed heavily on Hercules' conscience. Despite this setback, Hercules pressed on. He tracked the boar to its mountainous territory, using Chiron's advice to his advantage. When he finally located the beast, he drove it into a snowdrift just as planned. The deep snow hindered the boar's movements, allowing Hercules to close in. With a combination of strength and precision, he wrestled the creature into submission, binding it with sturdy ropes. The sight of Hercules returning with the massive, thrashing boar was enough to send King Eurystheus into a panic. Terrified, the king hid in a large bronze jar, refusing to face the hero or the beast. This moment became a source of both amusement and embarrassment for Eurystheus, highlighting the stark contrast between his cowardice and Hercules' bravery. This labor showcased Hercules' ability to adapt to different challenges. From seeking wisdom to facing unexpected conflicts, he demonstrated not only physical prowess but also resilience and determination. With the Erymanthian boar subdued, Hercules prepared for his next labor, a task that would test his ingenuity like never before. The Augean stables awaited, and with them, a challenge that would push Hercules to think outside the box. Now, as Hercules turned his attention to his fifth labor, he faced a challenge unlike any he had encountered before. This time, his task was not to defeat a monstrous beast or retrieve a sacred object, but to clean the Augean stables, a seemingly impossible feat. These stables, belonging to King Augeas, housed thousands of cattle and had not been cleaned in over 30 years. The filth had accumulated to an unimaginable degree, and the stench was so overpowering that it had become a plague on the surrounding land. King Eurystheus, hoping to humiliate Hercules, demanded that he complete this task in a single day. At first glance, the labor appeared to be a test of endurance and sheer physical effort. But Hercules, ever the strategist, saw an opportunity to approach the problem differently. Instead of relying solely on brute strength, he decided to use his ingenuity. He surveyed the area and noticed that two nearby rivers, the Alpheus and the Peneus, could be redirected to flow through the stables. By altering their course, he could use the force of the water to wash away the decades of filth in one swift motion. Hercules approached King Augeas with a bold proposition. He offered to clean the stables in a single day in exchange for a tenth of the king's cattle. Augeas, skeptical but intrigued, agreed, believing the task to be impossible. With the deal struck, Hercules set to work. Using his immense strength, he tore open the stable walls and dug channels to divert the rivers. The rushing waters surged through the stables, sweeping away the filth and leaving the ground spotless. When the task was complete, Augeas was astonished. However, he refused to honor their agreement, claiming that Hercules had used trickery rather than honest labor. This betrayal would later lead to conflict, but for now, Hercules had proven his point. He had not only completed the labor, but had done so in a way that showcased his intelligence and resourcefulness. This labor marked a turning point in Hercules' journey. It demonstrated that his strength was matched by his cleverness, and it solidified his reputation as a hero who could overcome even the most daunting challenges. With the Argonauts stables cleaned, Hercules prepared for his next labor, one that would test his courage and skill in a completely different way. The Stymphalian birds awaited, and with them, a new set of trials that would push Hercules to his limits once again. With the Argonauts stables behind him, Hercules now faced a challenge that would test not only his strength but also his precision and resourcefulness. His sixth labor brought him to the marshes of Stymphalia, where a flock of monstrous, man-eating birds had taken refuge. These creatures, known as the Stymphalian birds, were no ordinary birds. With razor-sharp metallic feathers and beaks capable of tearing through flesh, they had turned the once peaceful region into a place of terror. The birds would swoop down from the sky, attacking both livestock and people, leaving destruction in their wake. The marshes, dense and treacherous, made it nearly impossible for anyone to approach them, let alone defeat them. Hercules quickly realized that brute force alone would not be enough to overcome this threat. The birds were too numerous, too fast, and too dangerous to engage in close combat. As he pondered his next move, the goddess Athena appeared, offering him a solution. She handed him a pair of bronze crotolla, or rattles, crafted by the god Hephaestus. These were no ordinary noisemakers. They were imbued with divine power, capable of producing a sound so loud and piercing that it could drive the birds into a frenzy. With the rattles in hand, Hercules climbed to a high vantage point overlooking the marshes. He began to shake the crotolla with all his might, the deafening noise echoing across the landscape. The sound startled the birds, causing them to take flight in a chaotic swarm. As they rose into the air, Hercules seized the opportunity. Armed with his bow and arrows, he began to pick them off one by one, his aim as precise as it was deadly. The metallic feathers that had once made the birds so fearsome now worked against them as the arrows found their marks with ease. Some of the birds managed to escape, flying far away to never trouble the region again. But for the people of Stymphalia, the nightmare was over. Hercules had not only rid them of the immediate threat, but had also restored a sense of safety and peace to their land. This labor showcased yet another dimension of Hercules' heroism. His ability to adapt to the unique challenges of each task, using both divine assistance and his own skills to achieve victory. As Hercules prepared to move on to his next labor, he carried with him the lessons of this encounter. The Stymphalian birds had taught him that sometimes the greatest strength lies in knowing when to rely on strategy and ingenuity rather than sheer force. With this newfound wisdom, he set his sights on his next challenge, one that would take him to the island of Crete and the fearsome Cretan bull. Now, as Hercules turned his attention to his seventh labor, he found himself facing a creature of immense power and chaos, the Cretan bull. This was no ordinary beast. It had been sent by Poseidon, the god of the sea, as a punishment for King Minos of Crete. The story goes that Poseidon had gifted the bull to Minos, expecting it to be sacrificed in his honor. But when Minos, captivated by the bull's beauty, decided to keep it for himself, Poseidon's wrath was unleashed. The god caused the bull to go mad, rampaging across the island, destroying crops and terrorizing the people. Hercules' task was clear. He had to capture the bull alive and bring it back to King Eurystheus. This was no small feat. The Cretan bull was a massive, ferocious creature, known for its strength and unpredictability. But Hercules, ever the strategist, knew that brute force alone wouldn't be enough. He needed to outthink the beast as much as overpower it. Arriving in Crete, Hercules tracked the bull to its lair. The creature was a sight to behold, its muscular frame glistening under the sun, its eyes wild with rage. Hercules approached cautiously, knowing that one wrong move could spell disaster. Using his immense strength and quick reflexes, he managed to grapple with the bull, wrestling it to the ground. The struggle was intense, the bull thrashing and bellowing, but Hercules held firm. Eventually, he subdued the beast, binding it with ropes and leading it back to the ship that would carry them to Eurystheus. When Hercules presented the bull to Eurystheus, the king was so terrified of the creature that he refused to keep it. Instead, he ordered it to be released. The bull, now free once more, wandered to the region of Marathon, where it continued its rampage. It became known as the Marathonian bull, a menace that would later be dealt with by another hero, Theseus. But for now, Hercules had completed his labor, proving once again that no challenge was too great for him to overcome. With the Cretan bull behind him, Hercules prepared for his next labor, a task that would take him to the far reaches of the known world. Each labor tested not only his strength but also his wit and determination, and the challenges ahead would be no different. As Hercules moved forward in his journey, his eighth labor brought him face to face with one of the most gruesome challenges yet, the man-eating mares of King Diomedes. These were no ordinary horses. They were savage creatures bred and trained to feast on human flesh, a horrifying testament to the cruelty of their master. King Diomedes, ruler of the Bystones, had raised these beasts to be weapons of terror, and they were kept tethered with iron chains, their hunger only growing more ferocious with time. Hercules' mission was clear. He had to capture these deadly mares and bring them back to Eurystheus. But this task was as much about strategy as it was about strength. The mares were not only dangerous but fiercely loyal to Diomedes, who had fed them the flesh of unsuspecting travelers. To succeed, Hercules knew he would have to confront the king himself. Arriving in Thrace, Hercules wasted no time. He gathered a group of volunteers to assist him, knowing that facing Diomedes and his mares alone would be a near impossible feat. Together, they stormed the stables where the horses were kept. The mares, sensing the intrusion, reared and snarled, their eyes wild with hunger. But Hercules, with his unmatched strength and courage, managed to overpower them, binding them with chains and leading them away. However, the real challenge came when Diomedes and his army arrived to reclaim their prized possessions. A fierce battle ensued, with Hercules and his companions fighting valiantly against the Bystones. In the chaos, Hercules managed to capture Diomedes. In a twist of poetic justice, he fed the king to his own mares, a grim but fitting end for a man who had shown no mercy to others. The mares, now sated, became calm, allowing Hercules to lead them back to Eurystheus without further resistance. When Hercules presented the mares to Eurystheus, the king, once again terrified by the creatures, ordered them to be released. They were eventually set free on the slopes of Mount Olympus, where they were said to have been devoured by wild beasts. With this labor complete, Hercules had once again proven his ability to overcome even the most horrifying challenges, his strength and cunning shining through in the face of unimaginable danger. As Hercules prepared for his next labor, the stakes continued to rise. Each task pushed him further, testing not only his physical prowess but also his resolve and ingenuity. And with every victory, he moved closer to his ultimate goal, redemption, and a place among the legends of Greek mythology. With the mares of Diomedes behind him, Hercules now faced a labor that would test not only his strength but also his ability to navigate the complexities of diplomacy and war. His ninth task was to retrieve the belt of Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazons. This belt, a symbol of her authority and power, had been a gift from Ares, the god of war, making it a prized possession and a formidable challenge for Hercules to obtain. The Amazons, a tribe of fierce warrior women, were known for their unmatched skill in battle and their independence from the rule of men. Hippolyta, their queen, was revered for her wisdom and strength. When Hercules arrived in their land, he approached her with respect, explaining his mission and the divine command that had brought him there. To his surprise, Hippolyta was willing to part with the belt, seeing no reason for conflict and even admiring Hercules' courage and honesty. But Hera, ever determined to thwart Hercules, had other plans. Disguised as an Amazon, she spread rumors among the tribe that Hercules had come not as a guest but as an invader, intent on kidnapping their queen. The Amazons, fiercely protective of their leader, quickly armed themselves and prepared for battle. What had begun as a peaceful negotiation now turned into a violent confrontation. Hercules, caught off guard by the sudden hostility, had no choice but to defend himself. The Amazons attacked with relentless ferocity, their arrows raining down as they closed in on him. Despite their skill, Hercules' strength and combat experience gave him the upper hand. In the chaos, he managed to subdue Hippolyta and claim the belt, though the victory came at a cost. The once promising alliance had dissolved into bloodshed, a tragic consequence of Hera's meddling. With the belt in hand, Hercules left the land of the Amazons, his heart heavy with the knowledge that his labor had brought unintended suffering. Yet he had succeeded in his task, proving once again that his resolve could overcome even the most treacherous obstacles. This labor highlighted not only his physical prowess, but also the delicate balance between diplomacy and force, a lesson that would stay with him as he moved closer to completing his 12 labors. As Hercules prepared for his next challenge, the stakes grew ever higher, each labor pushing him further into the unknown and testing the limits of his strength, wisdom, and humanity. The journey was far from over, and the trials ahead would demand every ounce of his courage and ingenuity. Now, as Hercules turned his attention to his 10th labor, he found himself facing a task that would take him to the very edge of the known world. His mission was to steal the cattle of Gigan, a monstrous giant with 3 bodies joined at the waist. These cattle were no ordinary herd. They were guarded by Gigan's 2-headed dog, Orthrus, and a fearsome herdsman named Eurytion. To reach them, Hercules would have to travel to Erythea, an island far to the west beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which marked the boundary between the Mediterranean and the vast, uncharted ocean. The journey itself was an arduous one. Hercules had to cross treacherous lands, navigate unknown waters, and endure the scorching heat of the sun. Along the way, he faced numerous challenges, including hostile tribes and natural obstacles, but his determination never wavered. When he finally arrived at Erythea, he was met with the daunting sight of Gigan's cattle grazing peacefully under the watchful eyes of Orthrus and Eurytion. Hercules knew that brute force alone wouldn't be enough to succeed. He first had to deal with the guardians of the herd. With his club in hand, he confronted Orthrus, the 2-headed dog, striking it down before it could alert Gigan. Next, he faced Eurytion, the herdsman, who put up a fierce fight but was ultimately no match for Hercules' strength and skill. With both guardians defeated, Hercules turned his attention to the cattle, beginning the task of herding them back to Eurystheus. But Gigan, the 3-bodied giant, was not about to let his prized cattle be taken without a fight. Hearing the commotion, he emerged from his stronghold, armed and ready to defend his property. The battle that followed was one of the most intense of Hercules' labors. Gigan's 3 bodies gave him a terrifying advantage, allowing him to attack from multiple angles at once. Yet Hercules, with his unmatched combat prowess and strategic thinking, managed to outmaneuver the giant. Using his bow and arrows, he struck Gigan with a single, well-aimed shot that pierced all 3 of his bodies, bringing the giant down. With Gigan defeated, Hercules now faced the monumental task of herding the cattle across vast distances, through unfamiliar terrain and back to Eurystheus. The journey was fraught with challenges, storms, bandits, and even the wrath of Hera, who sent a gadfly to scatter the herd. Yet, through sheer determination and resourcefulness, Hercules managed to overcome every obstacle, finally delivering the cattle to Eurystheus. This labor was a testament to Hercules' endurance, not just in battle but in the grueling journey that followed. It showcased his ability to adapt, persevere, and succeed against overwhelming odds. As he prepared for his next labor, Hercules knew that each task was bringing him closer to redemption, but the challenges ahead would only grow more daunting. The edge of the world had tested him, but the trials to come would push him even further. As Hercules moved forward in his journey, his 11th labor took him to a place of myth and wonder, the Garden of the Hesperides. This enchanted garden was said to lie at the edge of the world, a place of eternal beauty where golden apples grew, guarded by a fearsome dragon named Ladon and the nymphs known as the Hesperides. These apples were no ordinary fruit. They were a gift from Gaia, the earth herself, to Hera on her wedding day, making them a symbol of divine power and immortality. For Hercules, retrieving them would be no simple task. The first challenge was finding the garden itself. Its location was shrouded in mystery, and Hercules had to seek guidance from the sea god Nereus, who was known for his ability to shapeshift and evade capture. Hercules wrestled with Nereus, holding on tightly as the god transformed into various creatures, until Nereus finally relented and revealed the garden's location. With this knowledge, Hercules set out on his journey, but he soon realized that even reaching the garden would not be enough. The dragon Ladon, with its 100 heads, was an almost insurmountable obstacle, and the Hesperides were fiercely protective of their sacred charge. Realizing that brute force alone would not suffice, Hercules turned to cunning. He sought the help of Atlas, the titan condemned to hold up the sky for eternity. Atlas, who was the father of the Hesperides, had a unique connection to the garden and its guardians. Hercules proposed a deal. If Atlas would retrieve the apples for him, Hercules would temporarily take on the burden of holding up the sky. Atlas, eager for a moment of freedom, agreed. He ventured into the garden, where his presence as the father of the Hesperides allowed him to bypass Ladon and the nymphs, and he returned with the golden apples. But Hercules was not done yet. When Atlas returned with the apples, he offered to deliver them to Eurystheus himself, suggesting that Hercules continue holding the sky. Hercules, however, saw through the Titan's plan. Pretending to agree, he asked Atlas to hold the sky for just a moment so he could adjust his cloak for comfort. The moment Atlas took back the weight of the sky, Hercules seized the apples and made his escape, leaving Atlas to his eternal task once more. With the golden apples in hand, Hercules faced one final challenge, returning them to Eurystheus. The journey back was fraught with danger as Hera, furious at the theft of her sacred gift, sent obstacles to hinder him. Yet Hercules' determination and resourcefulness saw him through, and he delivered the apples to Eurystheus. However, the king, fearing the wrath of the gods, refused to keep them and returned them to Hercules, who in turn gave them to Athena to restore to the garden. This labor was a testament to Hercules' ingenuity and adaptability. It showed that his strength was not just physical but also mental, as he outwitted both a titan and a dragon to achieve his goal. As he prepared for his final labor, Hercules knew that the greatest challenge of all still lay ahead, one that would take him to the very depths of the underworld. Now, as Hercules approached the culmination of his 12 labors, he faced his most daunting challenge yet, the capture of Cerberus, the monstrous three-headed hound that guarded the gates of the underworld. This final task was not only a test of his strength and courage, but also a journey into the realm of the dead itself, a place few mortals dared to tread. To succeed, Hercules would need more than brute force. He would need the favor of the gods and the wisdom to navigate the shadows of Hades. Hercules began his descent into the underworld, guided by the god Hermes, who served as his protector and guide through the treacherous paths of the dead. Along the way, he encountered the spirits of those who had passed, their mournful cries echoing through the darkness. Yet Hercules pressed on, his resolve unshaken. When he finally reached the throne of Hades, the god of the underworld, and his queen, Persephone, he made his plea. Hercules explained his mission and asked for permission to take Cerberus to the surface, promising to return the beast unharmed. Hades, intrigued by the hero's audacity, agreed on one condition. Hercules must subdue Cerberus without the use of weapons. With Hades' blessing, Hercules approached the fearsome hound. Cerberus, with his 3 snarling heads, serpent-like tail, and mane of writhing snakes, was a sight to strike terror into even the bravest hearts. But Hercules, undeterred, relied on his unparalleled strength and determination. He grappled with the beast, using his bare hands to wrestle it into submission. The struggle was fierce, but Hercules' endurance and skill prevailed. He managed to overpower Cerberus, binding the creature with chains and leading it out of the underworld. The journey back to the surface was no less perilous. Cerberus, unaccustomed to the light of the living world, thrashed and howled, but Hercules held firm. When he presented the hound to Eurystheus, the king was so terrified that he begged Hercules to return the beast to Hades immediately. True to his word, Hercules brought Cerberus back to the underworld, where Hades welcomed the hound's return. This final labor marked the end of Hercules' penance and the beginning of his redemption. By completing the 12 labors, he had not only proven his strength and resourcefulness, but also demonstrated his ability to overcome even the most insurmountable challenges. As Hercules stood at the threshold of a new chapter in his life, he knew that his trials had forged him into a hero whose legacy would endure for centuries to come. And with that, the stage was set for the next phase of his extraordinary journey. With the 12 labors now behind him, Hercules emerged not just as a hero, but as a symbol of redemption and resilience. His journey, marked by unimaginable trials and personal suffering, had transformed him from a man burdened by guilt and tragedy into a figure of unparalleled strength and honor. Each labor had tested not only his physical prowess but also his character, forcing him to confront his flaws and rise above them. Through these challenges, Hercules proved that even the gravest mistakes could be overcome with determination and courage. The completion of the 12 labors was more than just a fulfillment of a divine punishment. It was a testament to Hercules' ability to endure and adapt. From battling the NEMEAN lion to capturing Cerberus, each task had pushed him to his limits, yet he had never faltered. His success in these labors restored his honor in the eyes of both mortals and gods, erasing the stain of his past and solidifying his place as one of the greatest heroes of Greek mythology. But Hercules' legacy extended far beyond his labors. His story became a timeless example of perseverance in the face of adversity, inspiring countless generations to strive for greatness despite their struggles. He embodied the idea that true strength lies not just in physical power, but in the ability to confront one's inner demons and emerge stronger. Hercules' transformation from a tragic figure to a beacon of hope and heroism resonated deeply with the ancient Greeks, who saw in him a reflection of their own aspirations and challenges. As Hercules stood at the end of his labors, he was no longer just a demigod seeking redemption. He was a symbol of what it meant to rise above one's circumstances and achieve the impossible. His legacy would endure for centuries, not only in the myths and legends that celebrated his deeds, but also in the hearts of those who found inspiration in his story. And so, as we reflect on Hercules' journey, we are reminded that even the darkest moments can lead to a brighter future, and that true heroism lies in the courage to keep moving forward. With his redemption complete, Hercules' story was far from over. His next adventures would take him to even greater heights as he continued to shape the world of gods and mortals alike. But for now, his triumph over the 12 labors stood as a testament to the power of resilience, the importance of honor, and the enduring spirit of a hero who refused to be defined by his past. As Hercules stepped beyond the shadow of his 12 labors, his journey took him to a battlefield of cosmic proportions, the Gigantomachy. This epic war, a clash between the gods of Olympus and the giants, was no ordinary conflict. It was a struggle for the very order of the universe, and Hercules' presence would prove decisive. The giants, born from the blood of Uranus, were formidable foes. They were not only massive in size, but also imbued with immense strength and a burning desire to overthrow the gods. The Olympians, though powerful, faced a dire threat. The prophecy declared that the gods could not defeat the giants alone. They needed the aid of a mortal hero. Enter Hercules, the demigod whose strength and divine lineage made him the perfect ally in this celestial war. Hercules' role in the Gigantomachy was nothing short of extraordinary. Armed with his signature club and clad in the impenetrable hide of the NEMEAN lion, he fought alongside Zeus, Athena, and the other Olympians. His divine heritage as the son of Zeus gave him an edge against the giants, who were vulnerable only to the combined efforts of gods and mortals. Hercules' presence turned the tide of battle as he struck down giant after giant with unmatched ferocity and precision. One of the most notable moments of the war was Hercules' confrontation with Alcyoneus, the king of the giants. Alcyoneus was nearly invincible as he could not be killed within his homeland. Recognizing this, Hercules dragged the giant far from his territory and delivered the final blow, ensuring his defeat. This act not only showcased Hercules' strategic mind, but also cemented his reputation as a hero who could outthink as well as outfight his enemies. The Gigantomachy was more than just a battle, it was a testament to Hercules' enduring legacy. His participation in this divine conflict highlighted his unique position as a bridge between mortals and gods. While the Olympians wielded their celestial powers, Hercules brought the grit and determination of a mortal hero, proving that even in the realm of gods, human courage and resilience could make all the difference. By the end of the war, the giants were defeated and the cosmic order was preserved. Hercules' contributions were celebrated not only by the gods but also by mortals who saw in him a protector of both heaven and earth. His role in the Gigantomachy further solidified his status as a hero of unparalleled strength and valor, a figure whose deeds would echo through the ages. As we reflect on this chapter of Hercules' life, we see a hero who transcended the boundaries of mortality, standing shoulder to shoulder with the gods in their greatest hour of need. His journey through the Gigantomachy reminds us that true heroism is not just about physical strength, but also about the courage to fight for what is right, no matter the odds. And so, Hercules' story continues, a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who dare to dream of greatness. As the dust of the Gigantomachy settled, Hercules found himself drawn to yet another legendary quest, one that would take him across treacherous seas and into the heart of myth itself. This time he joined the Argonauts, a band of heroes assembled by Jason to retrieve the Golden Fleece, a symbol of kingship and power. Hercules, ever the towering figure of strength and courage, was a natural addition to this daring expedition. The journey of the Argo, the ship that carried the Argonauts, was fraught with peril. From navigating the unpredictable waters of the Black Sea to facing monstrous creatures and hostile lands, the crew relied on Hercules' unmatched prowess to overcome countless challenges. His strength was instrumental in tasks that seemed impossible, such as rowing the ship through stormy seas or fending off attacks from sea monsters. Yet, Hercules was more than just a brute force on this voyage. His presence inspired the crew, reminding them of the heroism required to achieve their goal. However, the quest was not without its heartbreak. Along the way, Hercules formed a close bond with his young companion Hylas, a squire who accompanied him. Hylas was more than just a helper, he was a cherished friend, and their relationship added a layer of humanity to Hercules' larger-than-life persona. But tragedy struck when Hylas wandered off to fetch water and was lured by nymphs into a spring, never to return. Hercules, devastated by the loss, searched tirelessly for his companion, delaying the Argonauts' journey. His grief was so profound that he eventually left the quest altogether, unable to continue without Hylas. This moment reveals a softer, more vulnerable side of Hercules, a hero often defined by his strength and triumphs. The loss of Hylas underscores the emotional toll of his adventures, reminding us that even the mightiest of heroes are not immune to sorrow. It also highlights the sacrifices made in the pursuit of greatness, as Hercules' departure from the Argonauts marked the end of his role in their quest. Despite his early exit, Hercules' contributions to the Argonauts' journey were significant. His strength and leadership set the tone for the expedition, and his absence left a void that the other heroes had to fill. The story of Hercules and the Argonauts is a testament to the complexities of heroism where glory and grief often walk hand in hand. As we follow Hercules' path, we see a hero who, despite his divine strength, remains deeply human, shaped by both his victories and his losses. With the echoes of the Argonauts' voyage still lingering, Hercules' story takes yet another turn, leading him to new challenges and adventures that would further cement his place in the annals of myth. His journey is far from over, and the next chapter promises to reveal even more about the man behind the legend. As Hercules' journey continued, his path led him to the legendary city of Troy, a place that would later become synonymous with one of the greatest wars in mythology. But long before the famous Trojan War, Hercules played a pivotal role in the first sack of Troy, a story that reveals both his unyielding sense of justice and the consequences of broken promises. The tale begins with King Laomedon of Troy, who had enlisted the help of the gods Poseidon and Apollo to build the city's mighty walls. However, when the time came to reward the gods for their labor, Laomedon refused to pay them, breaking his word and earning their wrath. In retaliation, Poseidon sent a sea monster to terrorize Troy, demanding the sacrifice of the king's daughter, Hesione, to appease the beast. Desperate, Laomedon turned to Hercules, promising him a team of immortal horses in exchange for saving Hesione and defeating the monster. Hercules, ever the hero, accepted the challenge. With his unmatched strength and courage, he confronted the sea monster and slew it, freeing Hesione and fulfilling his part of the bargain. But once again, Laomedon betrayed his promise, refusing to give Hercules the immortal horses he had pledged. This act of deceit ignited Hercules' fury, and he vowed to exact revenge on the treacherous king. Gathering a small band of warriors, Hercules launched an attack on Troy. The city, though fortified, was no match for the demigod's might. Hercules and his forces breached the walls, overthrew Laomedon, and claimed the city. In the aftermath, Hercules gave Hesione to his companion Telamon as a reward for his loyalty, but the sack of Troy left a lasting mark on the city's history. This early destruction of Troy foreshadowed its eventual downfall during the Trojan War, a conflict that would unfold generations later. Hercules' actions against Laomedon served as a reminder of the consequences of betrayal and the enduring power of retribution. It also highlighted Hercules' role as an enforcer of justice, even when it meant taking on entire kingdoms. As the dust settled over the ruins of Troy, Hercules moved on to new challenges, his legend growing with each adventure. But the story of the first sack of Troy remains a powerful chapter in his mythos, illustrating the complexities of his character, a hero driven by both honor and vengeance, whose actions often shape the course of history itself. With Troy behind him, Hercules' journey would soon take him to even greater heights as he faced trials that would test not only his strength but also his resolve and humanity. The next chapter of his story promises to reveal even more about the man behind the myth as he continues to carve his name into the annals of legend. As Hercules ventured further into the realms of myth and legend, his path crossed with one of the most enduring figures of Greek mythology, Prometheus. Known as the Titan who defied the gods by giving fire to humanity, Prometheus had been condemned to an eternal punishment by Zeus. Chained to a rock in the Caucasus Mountains, he endured the daily torment of an eagle devouring his liver, only for it to regenerate each night, ensuring his suffering was endless. This grim fate became a symbol of defiance and the cost of challenging divine authority. Hercules, no stranger to the wrath of the gods, felt a deep connection to Prometheus' plight. Having faced Hera's relentless persecution and his own trials of redemption, Hercules understood the weight of divine punishment. When he learned of Prometheus' suffering, he resolved to intervene, not only out of compassion but also as a testament to his own belief in justice and mercy. The journey to the Caucasus Mountains was fraught with danger, but Hercules pressed on, driven by his unwavering sense of purpose. Upon reaching the desolate peak where Prometheus was bound, Hercules confronted the eagle sent by Zeus to torment the Titan. With his legendary strength and precision, he slew the eagle, freeing Prometheus from his agonizing fate. This act of liberation was not just a physical rescue, but also a profound statement against the cruelty of divine retribution. The significance of Hercules' deed resonated deeply within Greek mythology. Prometheus, as the benefactor of humanity, represented the spark of knowledge and progress, while Hercules, the hero of strength and perseverance, embodied the human struggle against overwhelming odds. By freeing Prometheus, Hercules not only alleviated the Titan's suffering, but also reaffirmed the value of compassion and the possibility of redemption, even in the face of divine wrath. This act also mirrored Hercules' own journey. Just as Prometheus had been punished for defying Zeus, Hercules had endured Hera's relentless torment for being the son of Zeus. Both figures, in their own ways, challenged the authority of the gods and suffered for it. Yet, through his actions, Hercules demonstrated that even the most severe punishments could be overcome through courage and determination. The rescue of Prometheus stands as one of Hercules' most poignant adventures, highlighting his role not just as a warrior but as a champion of justice and humanity. It serves as a reminder that even in a world ruled by capricious gods, acts of kindness and bravery can shine through, offering hope and redemption to those who suffer. With Prometheus freed, Hercules continued his journey, his legend growing ever more complex and profound. Each adventure revealed new layers of his character, blending strength with compassion and vengeance with mercy. As he moved forward, the next chapter of his story would bring him face to face with yet another monumental challenge, further cementing his place as one of mythology's greatest heroes. As Hercules' journey continued, he found himself facing yet another monumental task, one that would test not only his strength but also his ability to endure the weight of the world, literally. This time, his path led him to the edge of the earth, where he encountered Atlas, the Titan condemned to hold up the heavens for eternity. The story begins with Hercules' quest to retrieve the golden apples from the Garden of the Hesperides, a task assigned to him as part of his 12 labors. These apples were no ordinary fruit. They were a symbol of immortality and divine power, guarded by a fearsome dragon and protected by the daughters of Atlas. Knowing the challenges ahead, Hercules sought the help of Atlas himself, the father of the Hesperides, who held the heavens on his shoulders. When Hercules approached Atlas, he proposed a deal. If Atlas would retrieve the golden apples for him, Hercules would temporarily take on the Titan's burden. Atlas, eager for a moment of respite, agreed. With the heavens now resting on Hercules' shoulders, Atlas set off to retrieve the apples. This moment is rich with symbolism. Hercules, already known for his incredible strength, now bore the weight of the entire cosmos. It was a test of endurance, both physical and mental, as he stood firm under the immense pressure. This act not only showcased his unparalleled power, but also highlighted his willingness to endure suffering for the greater good. When Atlas returned with the golden apples, he attempted to trick Hercules into holding the heavens permanently, claiming he would deliver the apples to Eurystheus himself. But Hercules, ever resourceful, outwitted the Titan. He asked Atlas to hold the heavens just for a moment while he adjusted his cloak, and once Atlas took the burden back, Hercules seized the apples and left, completing his task. The symbolism of this myth is profound. Hercules' ability to bear the heavens represents his role as a bridge between the mortal and divine worlds. It underscores his endurance and resilience, qualities that define his character throughout his many adventures. At the same time, the story reflects the theme of balance between strength and cunning, duty and freedom, and the mortal struggle against seemingly insurmountable odds. This act also ties back to Hercules' broader journey. Just as he endured the weight of the heavens, he carried the weight of his own trials and punishments, from Hera's wrath to the 12 labors. His ability to shoulder such burdens, both literal and metaphorical, cements his legacy as a hero who not only overcomes challenges but also transforms them into opportunities for growth and redemption. With the golden apples in hand, Hercules moved forward, his legend growing ever more complex. Each adventure revealed new facets of his character, blending strength with wisdom and endurance with ingenuity. As he continued his journey, the next chapter of his story would bring him face to face with yet another monumental challenge, further solidifying his place as one of mythology's greatest heroes. As Hercules' journey unfolded, his path took a tragic turn, intertwining love, betrayal, and fate in a way that would forever alter his destiny. This chapter of his story revolves around his wife, Deianira, and the centaur Nessus, a figure whose actions would set in motion the events leading to Hercules' ultimate demise and transformation. The tale begins with Hercules and Deianira traveling together after their marriage. Along the way, they encountered the river Evenus, where the centaur Nessus offered to carry Deianira across while Hercules swam. However, Nessus, driven by lust, attempted to abduct Deianira. Enraged, Hercules shot the centaur with one of his arrows tipped with the venomous blood of the Hydra. As Nessus lay dying, he devised a cruel plan for revenge. Pretending to offer a gift of reconciliation, he gave Deianira a cloak soaked in his poisoned blood, claiming it would ensure Hercules' eternal love and fidelity. Deianira, unaware of the centaur's deceit, kept the cloak. Years later, when she feared Hercules was growing distant, she sent him the garment as a token of her love. The moment Hercules donned the cloak, the Hydra's venom began to burn his skin, causing unbearable agony. Realizing he had been betrayed, Hercules tried to remove the cloak, but the poison had already seeped into his flesh. In his final moments, Hercules built a funeral pyre on Mount Oeta. As the flames consumed him, he called upon the gods to end his suffering. Moved by his bravery and the magnitude of his deeds, Zeus intervened, granting Hercules immortality. His mortal body was consumed by the fire, but his spirit ascended to Mount Olympus, where he was welcomed as a god. This tragic episode is layered with meaning. It highlights the vulnerability of even the mightiest heroes, as Hercules fell victim not to a monster or a god, but to the machinations of a vengeful centaur and the unintended actions of his own wife. The story also underscores the theme of fate, as Hercules' death was both a culmination of his labors and a gateway to his apotheosis. The death of Nessus and its consequences serve as a poignant reminder of the complexities of Hercules' life. His strength and heroism were matched by moments of profound suffering, and his journey was as much about endurance and redemption as it was about triumph. Through this tragedy, Hercules' legacy was sealed, not just as a mortal hero, but as an immortal god, forever remembered for his extraordinary feats and the human struggles that defined him. As we reflect on this chapter of Hercules' life, we see how even the greatest heroes are shaped by their flaws and the unpredictable twists of fate. His story continues to resonate, offering timeless lessons about love, betrayal, and the enduring power of redemption. And with this, we move forward to explore the final transformation of Hercules as he ascends to his place among the gods. With the flames of his funeral pyre still burning, Hercules' mortal life came to an end, but his story was far from over. As the fire consumed his body, his spirit rose, transcending the earthly realm and ascending to Mount Olympus, the home of the gods. This moment marked the culmination of Hercules' journey, as he was granted immortality and a place among the divine pantheon. Zeus, his father, welcomed him with open arms, recognizing the unparalleled feats Hercules had accomplished during his mortal life. The gods, once divided in their opinions of him, now celebrated his arrival, acknowledging his strength, resilience, and the sacrifices he had made. Hercules' apotheosis, his transformation from a mortal hero to an immortal god, was not just a reward for his labors but a testament to his enduring legacy. This ascension holds deep significance in the tapestry of Greek mythology. Hercules' journey was one of redemption, as he sought to atone for the sins committed during his madness. Through his 12 labors and countless other trials, he proved himself worthy of divine status, not just through his physical strength, but also through his perseverance and willingness to endure unimaginable suffering. His apotheosis symbolizes the ultimate triumph of the human spirit, showing that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, greatness can be achieved. Moreover, Hercules' elevation to godhood bridges the gap between mortals and the divine. Unlike other gods, Hercules had walked among humans, experiencing their joys, sorrows, and struggles. His story resonates because it reflects the potential for transformation and growth, offering hope that even those burdened by mistakes and misfortune can rise above their circumstances. As we reflect on Hercules' apotheosis, we see how his journey encapsulates the duality of heroism, strength tempered by vulnerability, triumph shadowed by tragedy. His ascension to Mount Olympus is not just the end of his mortal tale, but the beginning of his eternal legacy, inspiring generations to come. And with this, we turn to explore how Hercules' story continued to shape the world, even after his transformation into a god. As we step into the realm of Roman mythology, the story of Hercules takes on a new dimension, revealing how cultures shape and reinterpret their heroes. While the Greeks knew him as Heracles, the Romans embraced him as Hercules, adapting his tales to reflect their own values and worldview. Though the core of his legend remains intact, the Roman version of Hercules carries subtle yet significant differences that offer a fascinating glimpse into how myths evolve across cultures. In Greek mythology, Heracles is a figure of immense strength and tragic flaws, a hero whose labors were both a punishment and a path to redemption. His story is deeply rooted in themes of suffering, divine wrath, and the struggle for atonement. The Romans, however, reframed Hercules as a more idealized figure, emphasizing his role as a protector and benefactor of humanity. While the Greeks often portrayed him as a man burdened by his mistakes, the Romans celebrated him as a symbol of virtue, strength, and civic duty. One of the most striking differences lies in the way Hercules is depicted in Roman art and literature. The Romans often portrayed him as a stoic, disciplined hero, embodying the values of fortitude and perseverance that were central to Roman identity. Unlike the Greek Heracles, who was frequently shown grappling with his inner demons, the Roman Hercules is more composed and purposeful, reflecting the Roman ideal of self-control and moral integrity. The cultural significance of Hercules also shifted as his stories crossed into Roman territory. In Greece, Heracles was primarily a mythological hero, revered for his feats but not widely worshipped as a god. In Rome, however, Hercules became a central figure in religious practices, with temples and festivals dedicated to his honor. The Romans saw him as a guardian of their city and a symbol of their empire's strength, often invoking his name in times of war or crisis. Another key difference lies in the way his labors and adventures were interpreted. While the Greeks focused on the moral and personal struggles behind his tasks, the Romans often highlighted their practical benefits to society. For example, Hercules' defeat of the NEMEAN lion was seen not just as a display of strength, but as an act of protecting the people from a deadly threat. This shift in perspective reflects the Roman emphasis on communal well-being and the greater good. Despite these differences, the essence of Hercules' story remains universal. Whether as Heracles or Hercules, he represents the enduring human quest for greatness, the struggle to overcome adversity, and the hope for redemption. His journey resonates across cultures because it speaks to the shared experiences of hardship, resilience, and the desire to leave a lasting legacy. As we explore these contrasting interpretations, we gain a deeper appreciation for how myths adapt to reflect the values and aspirations of the societies that tell them. The story of Hercules, in all its forms, reminds us that heroes are not just figures of the past but living symbols of what we strive to become. And with this understanding, we turn to examine how Hercules' legend has been immortalized in art and literature, shaping his legacy for generations to come. Now, let's turn our attention to how Hercules has been immortalized through art and literature, a testament to his enduring legacy across centuries. From ancient sculptures to modern films, his story has been retold and reimagined in countless ways, each adaptation reflecting the values and creativity of its time. In ancient Greece, Hercules was a favorite subject for sculptors who captured his strength and heroism in marble and bronze. One of the most famous depictions is the Farnese Hercules, a Roman copy of a Greek original, which shows him leaning on his club, exhausted yet triumphant after completing his labors. This sculpture not only highlights his physical prowess but also his humanity, reminding us that even the greatest heroes face moments of weariness. Literature, too, has played a vital role in preserving Hercules' legend. In ancient Greek plays, such as those by Sophocles and Euripides, his struggles and triumphs were brought to life on stage, exploring themes of fate, suffering, and redemption. These plays often delved into the moral complexities of his character, presenting him as both a hero and a flawed man, a duality that continues to resonate with audiences today. As time passed, Hercules' story found new life in Roman literature, where writers like Ovid and Seneca reinterpreted his adventures to align with Roman ideals. Ovid's Metamorphoses, for instance, weaves Hercules' labors into a broader tapestry of mythological tales, emphasizing his role as a protector and benefactor of humanity. Moving into the modern era, Hercules has become a staple of popular culture, appearing in everything from comic books to blockbuster films. Disney's animated movie, Hercules, introduced his story to a new generation, blending humor and heart with a vibrant retelling of his journey. While the film took creative liberties, it captured the essence of his character, his determination, his struggles, and his ultimate triumph. In the world of comics, Hercules has been reimagined as a superhero, often portrayed as a larger-than-life figure with a mix of strength and charm. Marvel Comics, for example, has featured him as a member of the Avengers, showcasing his enduring appeal as a symbol of heroism and resilience. Even in contemporary art, Hercules continues to inspire. Modern artists often reinterpret his labors and adventures, using his story to explore themes of power, identity, and the human condition. Whether through paintings, sculptures, or digital art, his legend remains a rich source of creativity and reflection. Through these diverse depictions, Hercules has transcended time and culture, becoming more than just a mythological figure. He is a symbol of the universal human experience, our struggles, our triumphs, and our endless quest for meaning. As we explore these artistic and literary interpretations, we gain a deeper appreciation for how his story continues to inspire and captivate, proving that the legacy of Hercules is truly timeless. Next, we'll delve into the symbolism and modern influence of Hercules, examining how his archetype has shaped our understanding of heroism and resilience in today's world. Now, let's explore the deeper symbolism of Hercules and how his legacy continues to shape modern culture. Hercules is more than just a mythological hero. He represents universal themes that resonate across time and cultures. His journey of strength, resilience, and redemption has become a blueprint for understanding the human spirit and its capacity to overcome adversity. At the heart of Hercules' symbolism is his incredible strength, both physical and emotional. He embodies the idea that true power lies not just in muscle, but in the ability to endure hardship and rise above it. This duality of strength, external and internal, has made him a timeless figure, inspiring countless stories of perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds. Resilience is another key aspect of Hercules' legacy. His 12 labors were not just feats of might, they were tests of his ability to keep going, even when the odds seemed impossible. This theme of resilience speaks to anyone who has faced challenges, reminding us that persistence and determination can lead to triumph, no matter how daunting the journey. Redemption is perhaps the most profound element of Hercules' story. His path from tragedy to triumph, marked by his labors, shows that even those who have fallen can rise again. This message of second chances and personal growth has made Hercules a symbol of hope and transformation, resonating deeply in modern narratives about overcoming mistakes and finding purpose. In today's world, Hercules' influence can be seen in the archetype of the modern superhero. Characters like Superman, Thor, and Wonder Woman draw heavily from his legacy, embodying his strength, resilience, and sense of justice. These heroes, much like Hercules, face immense challenges but remain committed to protecting others and upholding moral ideals. Beyond superheroes, Hercules' story has also found its way into motivational narratives. His journey is often cited as an example of how to turn personal struggles into opportunities for growth. Whether in self-help books, speeches, or even sports, his tale serves as a reminder that greatness is often born from hardship. Even in the realm of business and leadership, Hercules' qualities are celebrated. Leaders are encouraged to emulate his resilience and ability to adapt, while organizations use his story to inspire teams to tackle difficult projects with determination and teamwork. Hercules' symbolism also extends to the arts, where his story continues to inspire creativity. From literature to film, his adventures are reimagined to reflect contemporary struggles and triumphs, proving that his legacy is as relevant today as it was in ancient times. As we reflect on Hercules' enduring influence, it's clear that his story is more than just a myth, it's a mirror of the human experience. His strength, resilience, and redemption remind us of our own potential to overcome challenges and achieve greatness. Next, we'll take a closer look at the ancient temples and cults dedicated to Hercules, exploring how he was worshipped and celebrated in the ancient world. Now, let's step into the sacred spaces of the ancient world, where Hercules was honored not just as a hero, but as a divine figure. Temples and cults dedicated to Hercules were widespread across Greece and Rome, reflecting his dual role as both a mortal hero and an immortal god. These sites of worship were more than just places of prayer. They were centers of community, celebration, and reverence for a figure who embodied strength, resilience, and redemption. In Greece, Hercules was often worshipped as a hero, with many cities erecting shrines and temples in his honor. One of the most famous was the sanctuary of Hercules at Thebes, his legendary birthplace. Here, he was celebrated as a local hero who had overcome immense challenges to bring glory to his homeland. The Thebans held annual festivals in his name, featuring athletic competitions and sacrifices, symbolizing the connection between physical strength and divine favor. In Rome, Hercules took on an even more elevated status. Known as Hercules Invictus or Hercules the Unconquered, he was worshipped as a god of victory and protection. The Romans built grand temples in his honor, such as the Temple of Hercules Victor in the Forum Boarium, one of the oldest marble temples in Rome. This temple was a testament to his enduring legacy, serving as a place where citizens could seek his blessings for success in battle, business, and personal endeavors. The cult of Hercules was unique in that it blended elements of hero worship with divine reverence. Unlike other gods, Hercules had walked among mortals, experiencing their struggles and triumphs. This made him a relatable figure, someone who understood human suffering and could offer guidance and strength. His worshippers often sought his aid in overcoming their own challenges, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. Rituals dedicated to Hercules varied across regions, but they often involved offerings of food, wine, and animals, as well as prayers for strength and protection. In some areas, devotees would reenact his labors as part of religious ceremonies, symbolizing their own quests for redemption and growth. These rituals reinforced the idea that Hercules was not just a distant deity, but a companion in the journey of life. Hercules' temples also served as gathering places for communities, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose. Festivals in his honor brought people together to celebrate their collective strength and resilience, much like Hercules himself had done through his labors. These events were not just religious observances, they were opportunities for people to connect, reflect, and draw inspiration from his story. As we explore these ancient sites of worship, it's clear that Hercules' influence extended far beyond mythology. He was a symbol of hope, a source of strength, and a reminder that even the greatest challenges can be overcome with determination and faith. Next, we'll delve into Hercules' complex relationships with his family, exploring how these connections shaped his character and legacy. Now, let's turn our attention to the intricate web of relationships that defined Hercules' life, shaping not only his character but also his enduring legacy. Family for Hercules was both a source of strength and a wellspring of tragedy, as his divine heritage and mortal ties often collided in ways that tested his resolve and humanity. Hercules' relationship with his father, Zeus, was a cornerstone of his identity. As the son of the king of the gods, Hercules inherited immense strength and a divine destiny, but this connection also made him a target of Hera's relentless jealousy. Hera, Zeus' wife, saw Hercules as a constant reminder of her husband's infidelity, and her wrath shaped much of his life. Despite this, Hercules never wavered in his reverence for Zeus, often seeking his father's guidance and protection in moments of crisis. On the mortal side, Hercules' mother, Alcmene, played a pivotal role in his early life. A woman of great virtue and resilience, Alcmene instilled in Hercules a sense of duty and compassion, qualities that would guide him even in his darkest moments. Her love and support were a counterbalance to the divine challenges he faced, grounding him in the human experience. Hercules' marriages were marked by both passion and heartbreak. His first wife, Megara, and their children became victims of Hera's curse, a tragedy that haunted Hercules for the rest of his life. This devastating event set him on the path to redemption through the 12 labors, as he sought to atone for the sins committed during his madness. Later, his marriage to Deianira, though initially filled with love, ended in tragedy due to the machinations of the centaur Nessus. Deianira's unwitting role in Hercules' death through the poisoned robe added another layer of complexity to his story, highlighting the fragility of even the strongest bonds. Hercules' relationships with his children were equally significant. His sons, particularly Hyllus, carried on his legacy, ensuring that his name and deeds would not be forgotten. Hyllus, in particular, played a key role in the myth surrounding Hercules' descendants, known as the Heracleidae, who claimed their right to rule parts of Greece based on their heroic lineage. Among his divine relatives, Hercules' bond with Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare, stood out. Athena often aided Hercules in his labors, providing him with tools, advice, and encouragement. Her support symbolized the balance between strength and wisdom, a theme that resonated deeply in Hercules' journey. These relationships, fraught with love, loss, and loyalty, painted a vivid picture of Hercules as a man caught between the divine and the mortal. They reveal his vulnerabilities, his capacity for love, and his relentless pursuit of redemption. Through these connections, we see not just a hero of myth, but a figure deeply rooted in the complexities of family and human emotion. As we move forward, we'll explore another dimension of Hercules' story, his tragic flaws and the human side that made him relatable to generations of admirers. Now, let's take a closer look at the human side of Hercules, a side that reveals not just his extraordinary strength, but also his very real imperfections. While he was a demigod capable of incredible feats, Hercules was far from perfect. His temper and impulsiveness often led to decisions that brought about devastating consequences, reminding us that even the greatest heroes are not immune to their own flaws. One of Hercules' most defining traits was his fiery temper. This rage, while a source of his immense power, also proved to be his downfall on multiple occasions. Perhaps the most tragic example of this was the murder of his wife, Megara, and their children. Consumed by a fit of madness induced by Hera, Hercules lashed out in uncontrollable fury, a moment that haunted him for the rest of his life. This act of violence, though not entirely his fault, became the catalyst for his 12 labors, as he sought to atone for the irreversible damage caused by his unchecked emotions. Hercules' impulsiveness also played a significant role in shaping his story. His tendency to act first and think later often led him into dangerous situations. For instance, during his quest for the golden apples of the Hesperides, Hercules chose to trick Atlas into retrieving the apples for him, a risky move that could have backfired spectacularly. While his quick thinking saved him in this instance, it also highlighted his willingness to take shortcuts, even when the stakes were incredibly high. Yet, it's precisely these flaws that make Hercules such a relatable figure. His struggles with anger, his moments of poor judgment, and his constant battle to overcome his own weaknesses resonate deeply with us. They remind us that heroism isn't about being flawless, it's about striving to do better even when the odds are stacked against you. Hercules' journey is one of redemption, a testament to the idea that our mistakes don't define us, it's how we rise from them that truly matters. What's more, Hercules' flaws make him a multidimensional character, far more than just a symbol of brute strength. They add depth to his story, showing us a hero who is as human as he is divine. His vulnerabilities make his triumphs all the more inspiring, as we see him grapple with the same emotions and challenges that we face in our own lives. As we continue to explore Hercules' legacy, we'll see how these very human qualities, his flaws, his struggles, and his relentless pursuit of redemption have cemented his place as one of the most enduring figures in mythology. Next, we'll examine how his archetype has influenced modern heroes, drawing parallels between the ancient demigod and the iconic characters we admire today. Now, let's shift our focus to the lasting impact of Hercules' archetype and how it has shaped the heroes we admire in modern storytelling. Hercules' journey, marked by immense strength, tragic flaws, and a relentless quest for redemption, has become a blueprint for countless characters in literature, film, and pop culture. His influence is so profound that you can see echoes of his story in some of the most iconic figures of our time. Take Superman, for example. Like Hercules, Superman is a figure of extraordinary power, yet he is constantly grappling with his dual identity as both a godlike being and a man with human vulnerabilities. Both characters are driven by a sense of duty to protect others, and both face moral dilemmas that test their resolve. Superman's struggle to balance his immense strength with his compassion mirrors Hercules' own battle to channel his power for good despite his flaws. Thor, another modern hero, draws even more direct parallels to Hercules. As a god from Norse mythology, Thor shares Hercules' divine heritage and superhuman strength. Both characters are larger-than-life figures who must prove their worth through trials and tribulations. Thor's journey in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where he learns humility and earns his place as a true hero, reflects Hercules' own path of redemption through the 12 labors. But it's not just superheroes who owe their origins to Hercules. Characters like Conan the Barbarian, with his raw physicality and warrior ethos, and even anti-heroes like Wolverine, with their struggles against inner demons, carry traces of Hercules' legacy. These characters embody the idea that true heroism isn't about perfection, it's about resilience, growth, and the courage to face one's own weaknesses. What makes Hercules' influence so enduring is the universality of his story. His struggles with anger, his quest for redemption, and his ultimate triumph over adversity resonate across cultures and generations. These themes have been reimagined in countless ways, from ancient myths to modern blockbusters, proving that the archetype of the flawed yet noble hero is timeless. As we look at the heroes of today, it's clear that Hercules' legacy lives on. His story reminds us that even the strongest among us are not invincible, and that true strength lies in the ability to rise above our mistakes. Next, we'll explore the lessons Hercules' journey offers for our own lives, and how his story continues to inspire us to strive for greatness, even in the face of our own imperfections. Now, as we bring our exploration of Hercules' incredible journey to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the timeless lessons his story offers. Hercules' life was far from perfect, marked by tragedy, mistakes, and immense challenges, but it's precisely these struggles that make his story so relatable and inspiring. His journey teaches us that true strength isn't just about physical power. It's about perseverance, resilience, and the courage to face our own flaws head-on. One of the most powerful lessons from Hercules' story is the importance of redemption. Despite the terrible consequences of his actions, he never gave up on seeking forgiveness and making amends. His 12 labors weren't just tasks imposed by others, they were a path to reclaiming his honor and proving his worth. This reminds us that no matter how far we fall, it's never too late to rise again and strive for a better version of ourselves. Another key takeaway is the balance between strength and wisdom. Hercules' immense power often led him into trouble, but it was his ability to learn from his mistakes and grow as a person that truly defined his heroism. His story encourages us to cultivate not just physical or mental strength, but also the wisdom to use that strength wisely and compassionately. Hercules' journey also highlights the value of perseverance in the face of seemingly impossible odds. Whether it was battling the Hydra, capturing Cerberus, or cleaning the Argonauts stables, he never backed down from a challenge. His determination reminds us that even the most daunting tasks can be overcome with focus, effort, and a refusal to give up. Finally, Hercules' story is a testament to the power of transformation. He began as a tragic figure, cursed by his own actions, but through his trials, he became a symbol of hope and heroism. His evolution shows us that growth is possible for anyone, no matter how difficult the circumstances. So, what can we take from Hercules' journey today? His story invites us to embrace our own challenges with courage, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep striving for greatness, even when the path seems impossible. Whether you're facing a personal struggle, pursuing a dream, or simply trying to be a better person, Hercules' legacy reminds us that true heroism lies in the effort we put into overcoming our obstacles. If Hercules' story has inspired you, let us know in the comments below what lesson from his journey resonates most with you. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Thanks for joining us on this epic adventure through the life of Hercules, and we'll see you in the next video. As we wrap up this journey through the life and labors of Hercules, it's impossible not to marvel at the sheer scale of his achievements. From slaying the NEMEAN lion to capturing Cerberus, the guardian of the underworld, Hercules' feats were not just acts of strength but demonstrations of courage, ingenuity, and an unyielding spirit. His story has endured for thousands of years, not just as a tale of a demigod's adventures, but as a timeless symbol of perseverance and redemption. Hercules' legacy is more than just a collection of myths. It's a reminder of what it means to face adversity with determination and to rise above our own limitations. His journey teaches us that even the greatest challenges can be overcome with focus, resilience, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes. Whether you see him as a hero, a symbol, or a source of inspiration, Hercules' story continues to resonate across cultures and generations. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Which of Hercules' labors or adventures stood out most to you? Was it his battle with the Hydra, his clever solution to cleaning the Argonauts stables, or perhaps his daring descent into the underworld? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We're excited to hear your favorite moments from his legendary life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Hercules, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another epic tale. And if you're hungry for more stories from Greek mythology, let us know. There's a whole world of gods, heroes, and monsters waiting to be explored. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey, and we'll see you in the next video.